What's up, TIW Mafia? JP here, the Irish Whip, running dolo tonight. We got a little interview coming up later on with Billie Starkz that Josh had joined me for. We recorded it a couple of weeks ago. But then some stuff happened and it just got pushed back a little bit because of some time constraints that we had. But listen, I'm only going to take up about 14, 15 of your minutes tonight. Then we're going to go into that interview. We're going to spin the wheel before the interview. Yes, there's a wheel tonight. We're going to talk about a few things. Talking solo is so tough sometimes. So if you guys have things you want to know, let me know in the just comment in wherever you're watching. Say what's up, say hello, keep me entertained. I'd be glad to hear from you. There's been some releases this week from WWE that we saw on our partner site, of course, WrestlingNewsSource.com, which is the only news source I trust these days. There's too many rumors, and these guys really go out of their way. I've seen it to make sure that they're not posting rumors. That's why we've partnered up with them for so many years. And they're just a great site. Ben is awesome. And it's literally like wrestling news is so touchy on what's quote unquote news and what's not. But they have it here. I'm going to run through the names really quick. And then I'll go back through and say who I think will fit where. Again, strictly my opinion and nothing more. So take it for what it's worth. But Braun Strowman, Aleister Black, Ruby Riott, Lana, Santana Garrett, and Buddy Murphy. Now, everyone's going to say AEW for all of them. I don't think that's the right thing for all of them, honestly. I think Braun Strowman, for right now, could do a lot better on the independents and probably make some more money than he would on AEW. I don't know that, but I think financially, I think that's his bet. Because he is an attraction, he's somebody that should work sort of a weekend in this area of the States, an area here, an area in England, Europe. They would love him in probably Japan because of his size. I think that's his best bet, but I don't know. Again, to each their own. I think, honestly, I think Aleister Black, Lana, and Santana Garrett and Buddy Murphy, whatever you want to call him, will show up in AEW very soon. I could see Ruby Riott going, maybe Impact. I think AEW was right for her too, though. But I could see her not going that way. And but what do I know? Let me see. Bobby D, what's going on, man? Good to talk to you yesterday. He says Vince selling for $2 billion to NBC, I heard. I haven't heard any numbers. I did hear NBC and there are talks. And exactly, Bobby D. Lana could go back with her husband, Miro, for those who don't know. Jason Kelly. Impact would love to have Braun. So I think you're talking about Braun Strowman. I agree with that 100% too. I just don't know if that's, again, the right thing for him, the right fit for him. But they would. I mean, Braun Strowman, people have crapped on him. He's great. He's a big man. He's an attraction. Ring of Honor, I think, would probably do some cool stuff with him and not use him every show. That's the thing. Like, let him go out and work the indies, and then you bring him in when you need him there. But don't have him on every show, because then that kind of lessens what he's worth, if you know what I'm saying. You know, if you can see him every time, you're not going to pay to see him when it's, time for those big shows. Because you just saw him in, let's see. We're giving away the figure this week. I went with another Chase figure. Andrade, Humberto the Humberto, Querido figure. It's a chase. It's not the so it is the rare variant. I'm stuttering all over the place, guys, and so this is a cool figure, and there's a lot of names on the wheel, so I'm always happy when that happens like that. You guys know it's all you got to do is follow directions on our pin tweet every week. You get entered in to win the free fig. We don't do we do it most weeks. We've skipped a couple here and there because of different things. But yeah, all you got to do is follow the directions. It's usually just a matter of retweeting it, honestly. And it's the I'm going to read to you exactly which figure it is, so you all know. It's the Humberto Carrillo Series 115 Chase. That's the white and blue tights. It's a nice figure, and somebody's going to get pretty lucky with that one. Joe Salenza. Well, I see Aleister Black. I think AEW for him. I think Tommy and AEW. I forget what his real last name is. I think that's a great fit for him. And I think that could have been all along. Or, I mean, he could go back to Europe and do the tours over there, like ICW and some of those companies, and make his money over there. So, but I think AEW would be a great fit for him. And so, guys, I have coming up the Billie Starkz interview me and Josh did. There were some technical hiccups on this. The internet was lagging pretty bad for me and Josh. So you will hear some lag. There'll be some talking over that was not intentional, and it actually really probably wasn't really happening. It was just lagged that bad. I was able to edit it out for what's going to happen in the post-production tomorrow. That'll be posted, but no video with that. We do have the video of her as well. Really cool girl. Really, really fun interview. I didn't know a whole lot about her going into it, and I learned a whole lot after. So it's she's a really, really interesting character, and very young. And she's been around the wrestling business. Like, she's been in the ring for quite some time, and she's just about she might have just went to her senior prom, actually. So, I mean, that's kind of, when you think about things, that's pretty cool. And she ends up in Canada with Santino Marella. It just has a lot of experience already. She's wrestled Indy Hartwell. A lot of the girls that are on TV now have at some point or another made their way through her. So what I am going to do, guys, I'm pulling up a song here. I hope this plays. And we're going to share the wheel. And we're going to spin. And we're going to find out who the winner is. All right, we're not going to be able to play a song, so I'm going to go to this. We get the whale song. I was going to play Wins and Losses by my boy Chaos Theory. Mike Farrell. If you look up Mr. Chaos on sound, on Bandcamp. Sorry, he just released a new mixtape the other day. Highly recommend it. We'll be sharing that. I'll be sharing that after this. The link to that. So, kid's deceptively good rapper, and I highly recommend his stuff. I called him out at one point for basically not being that good, and the kid's incredible. And I'm just sharing the screen now, guys. Getting ready to, so y'all can see this wheel spin. And right after that, we'll go into that Billie Starkz interview, and we'll be good to go. I'm gonna and boom. Let's see. We're gonna mix the names up a little here. I saw some names returning. Bobby D, your name is on there. Tommy Flynn, his name is on there. Returning names to the queue. I love it. The old timers are on there. Nick Haddix. He always reaches out with his boys. And some of the other guys. One Fan Tyson. And Big Joe, who was with me last week, guys, just so you know, he would have been here this week, but his daughter is graduating high school tonight. So that obviously took precedence. And let's see. Let's see who wins. This is very Drew McIntyre-ish music here. Let's see who we got. Ha! You know what, guys? You know me better than that. You know me better than that. We're going to mix it up a little more. But for the record, I followed all the rules. I retweeted, I liked it, and I follow my boys over at WNS Source, Wrestling News Source. And let's see who we get this time. Oh, Ben as Bosmith, another one that's on there pretty regularly. So I love that. Very cool. Let me stop sharing there, guys. You're gonna see me. You're gonna hear me sort of suffering through a little bit, looking for something here. There we go. And we're going to get ready for that Billie Starkz interview. We're 20 minutes in. It's about a 47-minute interview, 47-minute show. Again, there were some technical difficulties, so just bear with those. Joe Salenza saying, congrats to Ben Boasmith. I see the name on there all the time. That's important to me, guys. Like, I don't care who wins, honestly, if it's someone who posts for the first time or someone who retweets it every week. But obviously, I love seeing the guys who retweet every week. I love seeing those guys win it. And let's see. And this is going to be the Billie Starkz. Brush is an electric toothbrush that will change the way you think about brushing your teeth. With powerful sonic technology and ultra-gentle bristles, the Brush redefines what it means to have super clean teeth. It's like that feeling you get when you just leave the dentist. A fresh, whole mouth clean every single day. Our listeners get 15% off their total purchase with code POD15. Follow the link in the show notes and enter the code POD15 to get your exclusive discount and upgrade your oral care routine.
What's up, TIW Mafia? It's a Yeti. I'm here with JP. We got Billie Starkz back in the green room. She is literally hanging out, waiting for us. JP, what's up, dude?
What's going on, man? I'm wondering if Billie Starkz recognizes anyone in this video, because I know there's somebody in the tank. But,
I'm
excited. But yeah, no, it's going to be a few interviews. Billie Starkz is like the hottest thing on Twitter right now.
I'm telling you, like
all
WrestleMania,
over the place.
WrestleMania weekend, this young lady shined for me. So it's that time. Like it's really time to introduce the Irish Whip to Billie Starkz brand, don't you think? Like, should we just hit it?
Yeah.
What's up, fam? We're here. We got
What's
Billie
going
Starkz.
on?
She's hanging out with us. Welcome to the Irish Whip.
Thanks for having me.
We're super excited that you took the time. Like, I know schedules were here and there, and ours is kind of tough. And I don't know yours is tough. So really, thanks for taking the time and hanging out with us. It's cool that you get to take the time.
Thank you so much for having me. Yeah, my schedule's been crazy lately, and after this, I think I'm done for the day, so I'm super excited and got all my homework done, and I get to hang out with my bunny. I have to clean up after him because he likes to destroy my room when I leave him.
JP, I see you're
Now,
chomping at the bit, man. I know
give
you've
us
got
your
questions.
social medias. We like to start off with that.
So my social medias is all Billie Starkz, Billie, and then Starkz is Starkz because I try to be fancy, but that's on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook.
Now, I know
It's
that's your
literally
at name, but what's your actual Twitter name?
That's I think on Twitter that it's like, I think it's Space Yeetus right now, unless I changed it because I change it a lot.
no, I love it.
See, I
It's
read it as
Space Yeezus.
I was wondering if you were like a subhead. And the space thing is obvious.
Yes.
Now, I was watching a few of your matches tonight, and you like to bite people.
Yes.
That's not legal here on Earth.
Oh, it's like a thing that I used to do a lot, but I've learned that it's a no-no. So I've like chilled out on it a lot, but it still happens time to time when I feel like it's needed.
JP,
When the ref isn't looking, right?
When the ref isn't looking, even though sometimes I make the mistake and forget that the ref shouldn't be looking.
Well, they're blind anyway. Now, you got some stuff coming up at a time when wrestling isn't very busy. You're actually very busy right now, right?
Yeah, my schedule's been crazy, and this is like the first month that I've slowed down a lot. More because like I had like real life stuff coming around. Like I have finals coming up for school and a lot of testing, and then I'm actually going to a prom, which I'm super excited about. Never really planned to, but then I got asked, and I was like, why not? It'll be fun. So I took a weekend off of wrestling for that. But I still have shows this weekend, and then I have another tournament coming up, which I'm super excited about.
So I feel like you're just peeling the fourth wall back a little. Are you actually still in high school?
I am still in high school. A lot of times, like I'm very open about what I'm doing with my life because this is my life, and I have to figure out school and wrestling. But yeah.
Balance, because I know people like I'm up in Massachusetts, and like Kenny Doane signed the day after he graduated, which was also his 18th birthday, or something right in that line. Like, how does the travel work?
The travel.
Your parents are just okay with it?
Yeah, so my parents actually travel with me to a lot of my shows. Either my mom or my dad's with me. My dad's a photographer, so he usually is always in the car ride with me. But since like school has been online this year, it's made travel a lot easier because I can basically do school from anywhere,
That's
so I
odd
can do it with my car rides.
Okay. That's awesome. And that's another aspect that you could bring to the show. Like, hey, I'm going to bring my father. He's a photographer. So if you want to you'll get some pictures for the show that are professional. Where are you based out of? Like, what's your home?
So I'm from Louisville, Louisville, Kentucky.
Okay. So there's a ton of promotions down in that area. Now, do you stay local, or do you actually been like to other states? And well, obviously you did Florida.
Yes, I've traveled a lot recently. So I actually don't get to wrestle in my state because of licensing. I can't get a license until I'm 18. Um, but uh because like my parents are so supportive, they travel a lot with me and they're able to take me to a lot of the shows. So I've been to New Jersey, I've been to Florida, um, Indiana, of course, because that's closest to me, and I've been all over.
I've traveled with the wrestlers. I've been, someone that jumps in and I'll do security at the show. Like I said, you bring another aspect, stuff like that. And New Jersey shows are New Jersey shows are a little different than the shows up here in Mass. I don't know how it compares to the other places, but just for you to be like, how long have you been doing this? Because you've been around. It seems like.
This year is going on 3 years, so I've been doing this for 3 years now, and it's been really, really fun.
Now, who's trained you?
I trained at Grindhouse Pro Wrestling, and my original trainer was Rudo Lamada, and now the training is by Shiloh. So he's been doing like more of my recent stuff, but I've also traveled a lot from further training from other people. Trey Miguel has a school up in Toledo. I always say it wrong because people yell at me, but I say Toledo. Um,
I say everything wrong, so don't worry.
I just add in an extra like O and a R, and they're like, "Why do you do that?" And I was like, "It just sounds better."
Now, at 14 years old, who inspired you? Like, who said, "Hey, I'm 14. I'm going to go train to wrestle"? Like, who was there one person that just inspired you to really go out there, and you knew that was what you were going to do?
So, like, my introduction to wrestling was from my father, who takes pictures. So I just remember like memories of us just sitting on the couch and laying down and watching like Raw and this stuff, and then NXT really grew my eyes. And that was the time when like NXT was with Bailey and Finn Balor, and like I just fell in love with
Yeah.
it. And then I went to independent shows, and I was like, oh, I can actually do this. Like this makes sense. I think I know I can do this. And like I made up in my mind that like, oh, I want to be a professional wrestler. So like I really didn't think I would have trained so early on. Like I didn't think I was going to be able to train until I was 18. And it kind of just fell into my lap. So I was really, really happy for the opportunity.
So you, from day one, your parents were all good with it? Like at 14 years old, they were all right with their daughter getting thrown around?
Yeah, my
That is
mom and dad were both super supportive of it.
You said your father is a photographer. Does he shoot wrestling shows?
Yeah, that's all.
And was he shooting wrestling shows before you?
Yeah, that's what really got him into photography.
So he already. Okay, it's amazing that at such a young age, and like you've been like, you talk about some of the stuff you've done, the stuff down in Tampa. That was your weekend. That was like, was there any show you weren't on?
I wasn't on everything. I was on a lot. That was probably like the weekend I wrestled the most.
Now, you're a regular Black Label Pro, right?
I am. They recently haven't been running shows, so I've been I haven't been up there in a while.
Right. Now, what companies have been run? Because I'll tell you, in Boston, like in Massachusetts, the shows are just starting to come back around, and they're very limited into. I've seen one company charging $50 for a ticket, like because they can only let so many fans in.
Yeah, because of the limit.
Yeah, it's that. It's like you're not having trouble finding promotions. It sounds like. I know Space Jesus is all over Twitter. So, do you think the promotional end of social media, like Twitter and Instagram and even like TikTok, do you think being a little bit younger gives you an edge on that? Because I think the younger, I don't want to say kids because you're not a kid, but I think the younger people that are around wrestling sort of understand that more than the veterans that have been there for 20 or 30 years.
I think that like I understand how to market because of my younger generation, I think I know how to connect more with people. Um, my mom helped me out a lot with social media because she has like a marketing background because of her work. So when I started social media, I was like, I have all these ideas, and then she would turn them into something that would make it more marketable as me as a wrestler. Because we say like your wrestling persona is a brand.
Now, how would you describe your wrestling persona? Well, how would you do? Basically, how would you describe yourself? Because you are your
Just
persona, right?
very,
You're the Jew. That's all.
just very fun and outgoing and reckless.
Okay, we got Bobby D in the chat. Bobby's one of our regulars. You know who your favorite wrestler is in WWE?
In WWE, it was Bailey for the. I'm sorry,
I'm sorry, it was who?
it was Bailey for
You
like
said it
the
was who for
longest
the
time
longest time?
until Bailey.
I think actually her stock has actually gone up recently.
I just still don't like her as a heel.
A pair of glasses, though. A pair of glasses goes so far, and it worked. I don't know. I bought it. Give me a mail too.
Oh, male?
Could you give me a favor? Yes.
I would have to say like Kevin Owens.
Okay, that's a great choice. I mean, you talk about a guy that, spent years being told he couldn't make it, too fat, literally been told he was too fat his whole career. And then he shows up and he's the star and lasted a couple months in NXT before he was main roster and it still works that he's main roster and still sort of works that independent style, which is I think is awesome because I'm independent over the majors all day.
I just feel like the independent style is so creative and it doesn't like trap people in a box, which like TV style does sometimes, but I feel like it's starting to open up more and more.
Yeah. Well, it's different because when you're working for TV, you're a lot stricter on times and you have to tell the story a lot quicker where you guys on the independents can sort of take your time and you don't need to cut a 20-minute promo because you can tell that same story in the ring.
Yeah.
Now, tell me about some of the matches that you've had because I know you've worked with like Shotzi but against Shotzi Blackheart and a couple of like big names already. What's that like? Do you get like starstruck when you find out you're going to go against someone like that?
I think it's more that I'm happy for the opportunity and people trust me with it. Like I've gotten to wrestle people like Shotzi Blackheart and many Impact women. Like Deonna Purrazzo. I've got to wrestle Kylie Rae, and the list goes on and on. I got to wrestle Jordynne Grace, and I feel like the opportunity that I've been given to wrestle those people so early on has like progressed my career a lot faster than it would have without them.
The cool part about that is they have to watch a match when they're in it, and they, then it's easier to go to them. I think a lot of people are just shy to do. I think everybody should do if there's a veteran on the show for them to watch, give feedback. But for you, it's a lot easier because you tend to be in the ring with them.
Yeah.
And have you gotten some good feedback from some of the vets that you've been in there with?
Of course, yeah. A lot of people have given me a lot of advice after our matches and like little stuff that like I wouldn't notice even if I watched the match back myself. Just stuff that I can improve on for the time being.
Awesome. Yeah, that's so key. And I tell people all the time, like, if they tell you the match was awesome, that's great. But still pick at them and make them tell you something that was negative about it because you don't learn from the positive. You learn from the negative. So it's not that they're picking on you. It's they're going to try to make you better.
Yeah.
I spent some time today watching a lot of your matches, and I thought I was entertained. Like I thought I was going to watch one or two and stop, and then I kept digging. I was down a nice little rabbit hole on YouTube, which was really cool because I haven't had that happen to me in a while. Now, do you have, when you're going to go to watch wrestling, what do you look for? Like if you were going to go on YouTube right now and you were going to look up a wrestling match to watch, what would you look for? Maybe not a particular match, but like a person or a movie.
So I like personally look for like matches from like Europe. I really like Progress Wrestling, so they post a lot of things on YouTube, and I'll watch that. And I also fell in love with Millie McKenzie because of that. So I look at a lot of her matches.
Okay.
And then I watch a lot of backyard wrestling, even though I know that's bad. But I love the unexpected because unlike regular matches, it doesn't seem as predictable. And I feel like I can take their ideas and make them into my own because I feel like they're so creative. They just don't know how to put it in like the correct way.
Right. You're right. They do things differently, and they think a little outside the box and try to make it look different. But you take someone who's trained and you can do it a little bit safer maybe and use it to tell a story. So yeah, you're right. And I wouldn't expect that, honestly. That's I enjoy some backyard stuff. I know Josh loves like the deathmatch stuff. I know that's not really backyard, but that's not my style. Like I like the regular violence, not the super violence, I guess. I like when you guys just beat each other up. Now, what about MMA? Do you watch a lot of UFC? That's it. No, I can't. No.
I haven't watched a lot of UFC. I've watched like a lot of clips of UFC, especially when the guy like snapped his leg when he went to go kick his competitor's like leg to take the leg out, and it just snapped. I was like, what just happened? And he even like didn't feel it. Like you can see his reaction of when he tried to go step back and just fell, and I was like, that was the nastiest thing I've seen.
That's happened twice. That's happened twice to the guy he kicked. So somebody else did that about 10 years ago. Someone else tried to kick that same guy, and the same thing happened. That guy's leg's going to be made out of steel.
Yeah,
I always feel like now, I feel like pro wrestlers can pull a lot out of that too, because it's that shoot style that you want to look for to make everything look tight, you know. I'm the one who tries not to peel back that fourth wall, so I try not to say too much, but you know what I'm saying.
I get where you're coming from. That's why I recently started taking like boxing classes so I can incorporate that into my wrestling.
Man, so you're going to be a pro wrestler that knows how to throw a real punch. I'm going to tear up. You're going to be an actual pro wrestler who knows how to throw a punch.
Too many people don't know how to.
That's going to make me tear up. Well, so here's the thing, is you're a lot younger. Like, I've been around the independent scene, like, hanging around for 15, 16 years now. And even when I started, like, the old brigade was leaving. And that was the guys who drank the beers. And that was the guys who, you know, did the stuff that you probably shouldn't do before you're going to go in and have someone else's life in your hands, literally. But that they partied a little more. And now the generation that came in, and the generation that's sort of like weeding its way out now a little bit was like more, less into that. And they were more like the nerd generation pretty much came in. And it was like cool to be a nerd. And so there wasn't the beer drinking and there wasn't the partying. It was the studying. And that's like a big difference in the styles, I think.
I
Now,
completely
when you
agree with
travel, is it
you.
just is it just you and your parents when you travel?
Most of the time we'll have wrestlers hop on the carload with us, and we'll have a full carload most of the time. We're like a big wrestling family. I have a lot of like brothers and sisters.
Now, I understand that, and I've done a bunch of road trips myself, and I could not imagine my mother or father being on a single one of them with me. What do you think when you turn 18 and you can really start doing it a little more on your own, would you keep your parents going with you?
I feel like they would still travel with me, but I feel like I would start traveling a lot more with my own, but still with like some of my friends, just so I have people there with me.
Yeah. If you know who Bob Evans is, he's a veteran up here. He like managed Mike Bennett in Ring of Honor, but he did a thing a couple of years ago where he would just go live on Facebook, and anytime he saw somebody that had a car, an empty seat in the car, he would feel free to take that empty seat because you never know what could come out of that.
Yeah, I've seen so many
So if
people just hop
anybody's
in
going
the
anywhere,
ride
read
when they
about it,
get
your
a
face.
show.
Yeah, you show up, you walk up to the promoter, introduce yourself, offer help, and just that alone, the promoters might say, "You know what? I don't have a spot for you. I'll make one because you've did the right thing." I've seen that happen to people, and that's how people get regular spots on shows. I'm sure that's probably how you got a regular spot with Black Label Pro, because Black Label Pro is not really a small independent company. They're very well known.
I agree with you. I got
No,
onto Black Label by coming up to a bunch of shows. Like I came up for the first show. I helped out and I continued coming and coming and coming. I ended up only like missing 2 shows before I was even like on a pre-show, and it was because of school stuff. And then I've been at every show since then.
that's see. Now, I got a question in my text messages here, and I wanted to go through, and it was to ask. I like this, and I think I'm going to start using this question more often. Ask you, and this is funny because we kind of talked about this before the podcast, but to ask you something that you think is interesting about yourself that tends to get passed over by podcasters. So something that you don't normally get asked on podcasters that you think people would find interesting.
Ah, I think just like my love for like animals or like my bunny or just as like cheesy as it sounds, like I love talking about my pets.
And Karen, and she runs like an animal shelter, and that's why I'm laughing when you said that. Um, Now, what other pets do you have? Is it just the bunny?
I have the bunny and I have 2 dogs. I have like one dog that is like 19 years old. She'll be like 20 in November. And then I have another one who's a little mutt that I love. But she's 6 now, I believe, 6 or 7.
Now, how do they take to you being gone on the weekends?
Oh, my bunny gets real fired up at me. Like he gets very, very angry when I'm gone. I think the dogs have gotten really used to just me being gone, but they still just get happy when I come back home. But like my parents, like usually one of them are here. My brother is there taking care of them, so they just deal with me being gone for a bit.
Yeah, that's now. You have a tournament coming up. What about that?
Um, I have a tournament coming up. It's for a girl fight. Um, I believe it's in June, if I'm not wrong. And it is for #1 contender spot for the girl fight title, which Mickey currently holds, Mickey Knuckles.
What? I haven't heard that name in a long time. That is that's a huge opportunity. I mean, how many people?
I'm sorry, one more time.
How many people are in that tournament? Do you know how many people you have to go? How many people are in front of you before you get to Mickey Knuckles in that championship?
I'm not completely sure, but I think it's like about 4 rounds if I go to the finals.
Okay. What's been your biggest opportunity you feel to date? Like what's gotten you sort of the most exposure and just been your biggest opportunity that you've had so far?
I think Mania weekend, just being down in Florida, and being given the opportunity to wrestle 6 times for just great companies to just get my name out there was a really, really huge opportunity for me.
Somebody, Bobby D again in this chat asked, do you work with the manager at all?
I do not, but I think I've had like a match or two where the opponent has had a manager, but I personally don't have one.
Do you are you so you must be comfortable talking and promos and all of that?
Promos are actually not my strong suit. I've been trying to get better at them. It's just like one of those things, like I'm comfortable talking. It's just hard for me to figure out like an idea to go off of sometimes and getting that point across without it being too cheesy.
Now, with you being in high school, that fascinates me. Like, do the other students know about Billie Starkz?
Yeah, my teachers and like my classmates know about it. I'm very like open. I've even like posted flyers around my school to like wrestling shows that are in the area, and I've had like a lot of people come out and like watch the shows and stuff.
That's like that's incredible. And the kids all the not the kids, the students all accept it.
Yeah, everybody's been like really supportive with it. We had like one incident, and it was like this kid who already didn't like me, so he was trying to make a joke out of it. But like in my mind, I really don't care. This is my life, and this is what I do.
Then that's what it is you're gonna get that in all aspects. Like, and it's what I like about like your generation now is it's all about the positive vibes. Everything is about the good vibes and work the negative stuff out. So the fact that you're able to do that with somebody like that, just whatever, dude. I'm gonna go do what I love doing, and probably gonna be you are gonna be successful at it. You're successful at it and make a lot of money at it in the long run. Because even on the independents now, you can make some money once you create that name, and you're doing so good at that. Like when Josh told me he was getting you on, I'm like, oh, the girl from Twitter. So like I knew, like you know how to really market, and that's the almost as important as anything else. Obviously, you got to know what you're doing and know how to hurt people and not hurt people at the same time. And like you got that down. It's so good. Like you have. I don't think you could possibly understand how far ahead of the curve you are at 17, 18 years old to be at the spot you're at.
Mm-hmm.
You have WWE's cutoff age used to be 27. Most people start wrestling around between 18 to 20, and they got 7 to 9 years. You got a good 10 years to go before that cutoff point, if they even keep going by that at that point. And you've already got 3 years in. Like, that's huge. And not to mention, now you get, like, AEW, you got MLW's got a really good TV deal now. There's so much where you're able to get out there and market yourself. Do you have short-term goals? Like, I know you said Europe is like your, like what you like to watch. Like, is that a goal for you, is to go wrestle over there?
I would love to go wrestle over there, and I would also love to go to Japan. I actually take Japanese as my language in school because it was an option for me, and I felt like it was one of the things I would actually use.
Yeah. So I'm from Massachusetts, like I said, and I'm trying to think of how I could say this. There used to be a guy in Ring of Honor called Warbeard.
Hmm.
From was when he would go to Japan, they would assign someone to him that spoke both languages, but as far as picking from the menu, they would literally just point to what had the most protein because it all listed the amount of protein on it, so they know they'd get like the most filling food without having any idea what they were ordering. So, like, if you can take these and you can just have that of it going over there, that's a huge advantage. And we've talked to other people that have gone over and stayed in the dojos. And in the dojos, you have food. And one of the guys was saying they made this lettuce soup they called chonko 24/7. And that's all you had if you ate at the dojo was chonko, which was literally like, I guess, soup with just lettuce in it.
Yeah, I bet that's not the same like that they would have because I know they train days on days.
Right. So you can walk down the street. You can go to whatever restaurant you want, and you'd be able to order food off of the menu because you have the basic understanding of being able to say chicken sandwich or whatever it is you wanted. That's huge, and that's an advantage. Believe it or not, like that's going to be I think that's something because there's so much opportunity for like women to go out there with the companies like Stardom and places like that. I think I don't think you're far off from that, honestly. Character wise, style wise, wrestling wise, I don't think you're far off from like a Stardom. Like I think that's a very good possibility for you. Have you looked into like sending tape? I'm sorry.
I feel like Stardom is like one of my goals. I love watching the like tournaments they had. One of the recent tournaments they had, the Cinderella tournament, I believe it's called. I might get it wrong. Yeah. I was watching clips from that, and I was really, really impressed with the wrestling from there.
Have you looked into like making connections out there, or are you saving for your birthday for that?
So I was actually waiting till my senior year of high school because my Japanese class like takes a trip to Japan, and I like talked to my teacher about it, and he was like, "Yeah, I think it's fine for like you do some of the stuff, but if you wanted to like disappear and go to wrestling shows, if that's an opportunity for you, you could be doing that. You just need to bring a chaperone with you." So I was like, "Hey, I'm probably gonna bring like my mom or one of my wrestling fans."
Yeah, because you could go to those promotions at that point and be like, "Hey, listen, you could send them the tape before you go out. Here's a tape of me. I'm going to be in Japan. I know you're running a show on this date. I would love to just be on a pre-show or, just come and get a tryout with you guys." And they'd be crazy not to say yes to it. I mean, because you're already there. You know what I mean? That is huge. That's a great opportunity. This one's from Bobby D as well. Do you have a favorite move that you use in your matches? And thank you for coming on the show. Bobby D is like one of our biggest supporters. So,
I think one of like my favorite moves is like Mackenzie in the corner. I do it where like I bounce my feet off the rope as like a reversal, and it's one of my favorite moves. I just like the rebound from it, and then how high I can get off of that. It'd be that or the swanton.
I watched one today where you did the kick up off of the ropes and it didn't work out in your favor though. I forget what match it was, but they caught you like shit. But it was I don't think it was Shotzi Blackheart. It was another one of the veterans that you had wrestled. She had done it in a way I hadn't seen before. Like she actually squatted. Yes. And that was like such a cool little spot, like because I hadn't seen it done like that before. And yeah, you get up. What's the worst? Do you still train? Like, do you still go to class?
Yeah, I train usually 2 times a week and sometimes one if like my body's kind of sore.
I want 2 parts of training. I want your favorite part, and I want to hear you like the part you don't like the most, and then I want to hear why you work harder on the part you don't like the most.
I think like my favorite part is probably like the like freestyle bit where like I get to work on like whatever I want to work on. And I think do my probably like the worst part of training is just like the bump warm up drills. Like I just am like I don't want to bump. It's too early. Like I love the roll drills and like the workouts and conditioning before everything, but since we have like newer people learning how to bump, I have to be sometimes like the shower of like okay, and I have to do it, and I'm like I don't want to fall.
Now, because of that, and that this is the reason I worded the question like that. You get the harder at that a little bit better because of that, just because you want to get through it that much quicker. Am I right on that?
Yeah, you're right.
Do you have anything else that did we miss anything?
I think we got everything, I believe.
Let's put your social medias out there one more time.
All the social media is Billie Starkz.
Now, do you do like we're new, like we're barely on Instagram. Facebook is still new to us. We're on our MySpace huge. Our MySpace pop. Our Twitter is okay. Our Twitter is actually pretty good. Do you do TikTok? Do you use that to promote yourself yet?
I do not use TikTok yet. I've thought about it. I really like TikTok as a platform for like my own entertainment. I would just like I don't know what I would post on mine, and I kind of want it to be wrestling themed, but then I also want it to be kind of just fun for me.
Doing the little dances.
You doing
It seems like it just seems like like TikTok is like I'll look at TikTok and say, geez, I don't get it. I'm old. I'm 46. I'll be 47 in a month. But it's so easy for those kids that haven't been celebrities and haven't been anything for a long time to make a lot of money on there just by getting followers. So it seems like that'd be another way of monetizing like the wrestling career if you could. I don't know what the wrestling
one on TikTok that you can make money off of videos for viewership.
We didn't have things like that when I was a kid. And it's cool that your generation is free how to do it and how to monetize it. So where are you? Your Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook, I assume.
Yes, that's all of my social media.
With Billie Starkz, guys, check her out. Like I honestly, I fell into a couple hour long rabbit hole today of Billie Starkz on YouTube, and it's I didn't think you were that young. When you said you were going to a prom, I'm like, that's gonna look awkward because I thought you were older than what you are. That's incredible to me, and that threw me off. You got a long way ahead of you, Billie, and just keep your head up. Don't let anything get to you, and just the goals. Like set goals that you know are attainable, and then chase those. And once you get that goal, set another goal. Have the next goal in mind. We've had the opportunity of watching a lot of people come up, like August Gray, when he was he was 12 years old when he started coming around to shows around here and doing stuff and helping out. So you're not far off. Like you're there. And like I said, you have a short journey ahead of you and a long time to get there. I'm looking forward to watching this. And when we can fix my internet connection and Montana's internet connection, I want to have you back on and do this real, if that's okay.
I'm completely fine with that.
Thank you, Billy. I appreciate you guys. We'll be live on Thursday as well. We'll see you then. Thank you.
Thank you.